Question for Coach Galloway, and we'll get started. Hi, Coach.
Hello, how are y'all doing?
Thank you for joining us, coming off the hot field. Appreciate that. Deanna, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Hey, Coach Galloway, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Haven't spoken to you since you got the promotion of assistant head coach. Does that change your game day, practice, everything with that more responsibility?
No, ma'am. Still the same stuff. If there's some things that coach needs me to do from if the whole staff asks questions, they'll bring it to me. I'll take it to him. But as far as game day stuff, no. I mean, I'm still with my guys, getting them ready to go. And typical days for me, doing the same stuff.
Thank you.
Isaiah Lucas.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to know how Joffrey's looks since coming back from that injury that had knocked him out of spring practice.
Joffrey's doing well. He's out doing a lot of stuff with us. He's with the trainer some too, just getting him back where he needs to be. But he looks good catching the ball and being able to run well. So we're just trying to get a gel and get timing down and things with Sam. And but overall, he's doing well.
Greg Barnes.
Hey, Coach, we've heard a lot about Josh Downs, so I wanted to ask you about the outside receiver position. I know Joffrey's there, but who are some guys that have kind of stood out thus far in camp?
Emory Simmons, Antoine Greene, Justin Olsen. Those are the guys that, with Corrales, those are the guys right now that are working outside and getting a connection with Sam, working on deep balls, hitting those and those type of things. So, Josh in the slot, those are the guys that are working outside, that are, going with the blues and the whites right now.
So Antoine Greene, kind of what has his arc been the last couple of years, and kind of where is he now in terms of his development?
Totally different. I mean, I think he's a totally different mindset on where he needs to be. He was in a role to where, he started 2 years ago, and then, Bo ended up being the starter with Diami on the other side, and he really wants to play. So it's one of those things for him. Was just, he hurt himself when he first got here, then battling through that, and then, just finally getting himself, and we've had a lot of talks, just getting himself ready to go mentally. All the tools are there for AG. I mean, he's 6'3", 208 pounds, can run, catches the ball well. So it's mental for him. And those are the things that I've challenged him over the spring and this preseason camp is just play mentally tough. If you need a break, then we'll get you out. But when you're in there, compete, work on your technique and those type of things.
Thank you.
CL Brown.
Hi, Coach. I was curious about Justin Olsen. It seems like his name has been recurring in these interviews as somebody is kind of breaking out. And what areas have you seen him develop to where he's in a spot where he sounds like he's going to be in a rotation?
I mean, just his consistency since camp started, and even last year's camp and this spring, just competing on the vertical ball and, just making plays. And it's one of those things, if you ask any of the DBs, he's one of the guys that, it's a hard cover for them, and I've challenged Justin to, try to carve out a role for himself, and the thing that, as a group, your peers know who should be out there playing, and they all have confidence in him, and Sam and the quarterbacks have confidence in him. So, he just needs to continually get better during this camp and put days together, and he has. Today's scrimmage, I hadn't looked at it, just come straight off the field. So, we'll see whether or not he took a step forward or stayed the same.
And just as a follow-up, how confident are you in this group, given that Coach Brown has kind of compared it to when De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome were kind of coming up and nobody knew what you guys had until they saw it on the field. What parallels do you see between now and back then?
I mean, I like how Coach answered that question because, I mean, besides, what Josh did in the bowl game, it's an unknown factor, besides Bo, who's played and Joffrey's made some plays, in a couple games. But I think we'll be fine where we are. Whether or not it's two of them or a collection of a combination of a couple guys outside, a couple guys on the inside to stack up the numbers that are gone. But I have confidence in them that we'll be able to get that done. And I mean, when you got a special trigger man, quarterbacks make players that are unknown look good, and that'll be the thing for us with Sam. You got to want to go out there and compete to play with him, because if he has confidence in you, then the ball will find you.
Thanks.
Andrew.
Hey, Coach, we talked to Josh, I think it was last weekend, and he told us that his performance in the Orange Bowl went a long way to him getting a lot of confidence. It was an infusion of confidence. Is that what you saw from him? And how much of a different player is he now that he appears to have quite a bit of confidence?
I mean, Josh is a very confident kid. I mean, he came in, that way. It was a situation last year with him getting here. He could have played more, but, we had Daz, and, he got his role going toward the end of the season. But, I mean, Josh is a very intelligent football player. I mean, he sees stuff, he understands defenses, and he'll do some stuff in practice, and you'll be like, that wasn't it. And he's like, Coach, well, the safety went way up the hash and nobody was down the middle of the field. Those are some of the things that we're, trying to tone down. You want him to be, that way, to be able to give you feedback on what he's seeing. But Josh is a very competitive kid, and I can't wait to watch him play. If he can do, keep up what he did from last year's bowl game and this year, I mean, we shouldn't miss a beat.
And we spoke to Emory Simmons a couple of days ago, and he told us that he put on a little extra weight to try to learn to run with it, and then he dropped a few pounds to try to improve his speed. He said he's clocking it like 21 on the GPS. What have you seen from him in his improved speed, and how many notches can that take his game now that he is a little bit faster than
Emory's a very, very hard worker. He goes out and does everything we ask him to do, technique-wise, competing wise, and he loves to be coached and corrected and those things, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, Emory, he's consistently in the 21s, high 20s on those GPS things, which helps him, be able to track the deep ball, which we like to throw the ball down the field. So I'm just trying to make sure that I take care of him during camp. He's another kid that wants to go out and compete and not come out for practice. But I've enjoyed seeing what he's done, and he's filling in a big role, on the left side of the field.
Last one for Coach. Greg.
Hey, Coach, who are your primary options behind Josh there at slot receiver?
I mean, it could be a combination of people. I could, move Justin Olsen, play some in the slot. Gosnell could play some in the slot, and then you got the two young freshmen that are competing against each other to try to work their way into the who's going to go out when people need breaks.
Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate you stepping in here. Go cool off.
All right, thank you guys. See you.